If one philosopher should be described as truly extraordinary, Friedrich Nietzsche would undoubtedly be one of the first names to come to mind. He was a German philosopher, cultural critic, composer, poet, and philologist whose work challenged the very foundations of human society. From culture and religion to philosophy, literature, and psychology, Nietzsche's ideas shook the world in profound ways. He was not just a thinker, he was one of the key precursors to existentialism, and his ultimate goal was to pave the way for the Übermensch, the Superman, a superior and absolutely free man. Nietzsche's teachings were revolutionary, but his life was equally extraordinary. Full of suffering and emotional turmoil, his journey was anything but easy. Much of his life was spent as a shadow, wandering the mountains of Switzerland, where he wrote some of the most magnificent works ever written, including Thus Spoke Zarathustra, Beyond Good and Evil, and Twilight of the Idols. Despite the brilliance of his work, Nietzsche struggled for recognition during his lifetime, and his books sold poorly. At the age of 44, he suffered a mental breakdown after witnessing a horse being beaten by a carriage driver, famously running to the horse and declaring, "I understand you." Tragically, he never recovered from this breakdown and spent the final years of his life in mental and physical decline. Nevertheless, Nietzsche's intellectual legacy remains profound, and his work continues to inspire readers today. Through his philosophy, Nietzsche challenged existing paradigms, pushing human thought to higher summits. His life, although marked by tragedy, left the world with an extraordinary body of work that forces us to confront our existence in radically new ways. Nietzsche's philosophy is often controversial and frequently misunderstood, but his teachings encourage us to rise above mediocrity. He believed in the vast potential of humanity, urging individuals to break free from the chains that bind them in order to discover their true freedom. Here are 10 lessons from Nietzsche's philosophy that can teach us how to live an extraordinary life. Be an essentialist. Nietzsche once said, "It is my ambition to say in 10 sentences what others say in a whole book." He was known for his concise, direct, and sometimes brutal way of writing. He did not seek to please the masses or follow conventional systems. Nietzsche believed in focusing on what was truly important, shedding everything else. To follow his example, we must learn to declutter our lives, eliminating things and people that do not add real value. Instead, we should focus on the essentials, our dreams, goals, and passions. Whether it's climbing a mountain, writing a book, or building a business, Nietzsche's essentialism teaches us to prioritize what truly matters to us. Be authentic. In Twilight of the Idols, Nietzsche said, "I looked for great human beings, but all I ever found were the apes of their ideals." He was critical of the herd mentality, where most people live according to societal expectations rather than their true selves. Nietzsche argued that becoming authentic takes effort and courage. He encourages us to own ourselves, our true thoughts, desires, and actions. Authenticity means saying no when something goes against our beliefs, whether it's a request from a family member, a colleague, or society. By being authentic, we can start new projects that reflect who we truly are, building a life that aligns with our inner selves. Wisdom, not knowledge. Nietzsche emphasized that wisdom is not about accumulating knowledge, but about understanding life through experience. He said, "Once and for all, there's a lot that I don't want to know." Wisdom sets limits even to knowledge. While knowledge is gained through formal learning, wisdom is acquired through lived experience and self-reflection. Nietzsche's focus on wisdom reminds us to be selective about what we learn and how we apply that knowledge. In today's world, where information is endless, it's easy to become a slave to knowledge. Nietzsche urges us to limit ourselves to what truly matters, focusing on quality over quantity and learning through real-world experience. Put your will into things. Nietzsche famously wrote, "Those who don't know how to put their will into things, at least put a meaning into them." Nietzsche was critical of systems that promise peace of mind through blind faith, particularly religions. He believed true freedom came from creating one's own values, free from external control. By focusing on what we can control and putting our will into our actions, we can transcend repressive systems and create lives of true meaning. Nietzsche encourages us to not only believe in our actions, but to actively shape the world around us through our own willpower. Love your destiny, amor fati. Nietzsche's concept of amor fati, or love of fate, teaches us to embrace life as it is, including its struggles and challenges. Nietzsche believed that true greatness comes from accepting our destiny without wishing for anything to be different. He said, "My formula for greatness in a human being is amor fati, that one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity. Loving our fate means fully embracing both the good and bad of our lives. It doesn't mean passively accepting everything that happens, but rather finding peace and purpose in all experiences. By loving our destiny, we create an awareness and depth of understanding that makes life richer and more meaningful." Never fear failure. Nietzsche encouraged us to never fear failure, stating, "You must be ready to burn yourself in your own flame. How could you rise anew if you have not first become ashes?" He believed that failure was essential to growth, urging us to view setbacks as opportunities for rebirth. Failures are inevitable, but they do not define us. Instead, they offer us lessons that push us toward success. Nietzsche's teachings inspire us to persevere, no matter the obstacles, and to use failure as a stepping stone toward achieving greatness. Always speak your truth. Nietzsche believed in the power of speaking the truth, regardless of how uncomfortable it may be. He famously stated, "Silence is worse. All truths that are kept silent become poisonous." By speaking our truth, we liberate ourselves from the burden of dishonesty and open the door to deeper connections with others. Being truthful, especially with ourselves, is the foundation of an extraordinary life. Nietzsche's challenge to us is to be bold enough to express our true thoughts and beliefs, even if they conflict with societal norms or expectations. Stay connected to nature. Nietzsche often walked for hours in the Swiss Alps, finding inspiration and clarity in nature. He believed that great thoughts often emerge during these walks, as nature provides the space for deep reflection. As he said, "All truly great thoughts are conceived while walking." In our modern world, we often disconnect from nature, surrounded by technology and distractions. Nietzsche's message is clear. To think deeply and create extraordinary ideas, we must reconnect with the natural world. A simple walk outside can bring new perspectives and solutions to life's challenges. Be pragmatic. Nietzsche emphasized the importance of learning through experience, rather than theoretical knowledge alone. He said, "Ultimately, no one can hear in things more than he already knows." Being pragmatic means testing ideas in the real world and finding practical solutions to problems through firsthand experience. By taking action and experimenting with different approaches, we gain real knowledge that can propel us toward extraordinary outcomes. Be a dynamite. Finally, Nietzsche encouraged us to be a dynamite, a force that shakes up the status quo and challenges existing values. He said, "I am not a man, I am dynamite." Nietzsche viewed himself as a revolutionary, calling for a radical rethinking of human values and culture. To be extraordinary is to embrace change, to question traditional ways of thinking, and to pave the way for a future where human potential is fully realized. By being a dynamite in our own lives, we have the power to transform the world around us. In conclusion, Nietzsche's philosophy provides us with profound lessons on how to live an extraordinary life. From embracing authenticity and wisdom to putting our will into action and learning from failure, Nietzsche challenges us to push beyond conventional limits. By following his teachings, we can unlock our true potential and create lives filled with meaning, purpose, and greatness.